One of the hardest people to reach with the gospel are Muslims. They are our friends, our neighbors, even our family members. I've personally seen Christians do a very terrible job, actually, when talking to Muslims, especially when it comes to God, His Son, Jesus Christ, and the gospel message. That's why I've decided to make a little video of what to do and what not to do when talking to Muslims about the gospel. I will be playing the Muslim. I look like a Muslim. I'm Arab, and my name's Ismail. My friend Paul here.
Yo, I'm Paul.
He will be playing the Christian, and we're going to go step by step, showing what to do and what not to do when talking to Muslims about Jesus Christ.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
Not too much. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my ride.
Sweet. You want to come over for dinner tonight? My mom's making pork chops.
No, man, I don't eat pork chops. I'm Muslim.
Really? I didn't know that. Why are you Muslim?
Well, honestly, I grew up Muslim, but I found there's a lot of scientific miracles in the Quran. For example, it says that all living things are created by water and from water. So that's something we didn't know till recently. So that's actually why. Why are you Christian?
To be honest with you, I never really thought about it. I just know when I go to church, it makes me feel good. I feel close to God.
I mean, I understand that, but I also feel close to God, and other people feel close to God doing many different things. That doesn't make it true. One thing that Muslims are very proud about is this concept of scientific miracles in the Quran. A major one they bring up is how in the Quran it says, وَخَلَقْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ, that God has created everything that is living out of water. Muslim apologists and Dawah men talk about how Muhammad could not have known this, even though it was mentioned by the Greeks thousands of years before Muhammad came to the scene. However, the majority of lay Muslims don't know this, and most Christians don't know this. So when a Muslim says that there's scientific miracles in the Quran, and then they ask about scientific miracles in the Bible, and Christians don't view the Bible as a scientific book, it shows, to them at least, that the Bible is weaker than the Quran. So it's not good to talk about science when it talks about religion. These two things should be divided, because the Quran is not a science book, neither is the Bible. That's not something we should be focusing on when talking to Muslims.
Why are you Muslim?
Honestly, man, Muhammad said some prophecies that have been coming true. For example, a good one is he said the Arabs will build skyscrapers. He said they'll build huge buildings. And now the biggest building in the world is Burj Khalifa in Dubai. So that's very specific. And I don't know, do y'all have specific prophecies like that in the Bible?
I don't even know, man, to be honest with you. I might have to get back to you on that one.
All right, but I'm just telling you, man, that's too specific. Muhammad made many prophecies in his life. Some came true and some didn't. A major one that Muslims bring up is how Muhammad said that the Arabs would build huge towers, and they think that this has to do with places like Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Riyadh, how the major towers in the world and the biggest skyscrapers in the world are in the Arab Gulf today. A Muslim doesn't think that a prophet can't say a false prophecy. If they get one true, they're a prophet. This is different from Christianity, where if a prophet lies even once, they're not a prophet, even if they get 9,999 prophecies correct. So it's not good to bring up prophecies, especially because prophecies in the Bible can be quote-unquote vaguer than prophecies that Muhammad gave. And regardless of them being true or not, if they're more specific, the Muslim will see that as holier and better.
So why are you Muslim?
Honestly, it's the Quran, man. The Quran's been preserved since day one, 1,400 years ago. It's amazing Arabic, and yeah, as far as I know, we don't even know who wrote the Bible. Who wrote the Bible?
So actually, the Bible has many authors, especially the Gospels. The Gospels were written by the eyewitness accounts of those who met and walked with Jesus, or they're written down by the companions of those who walked with Jesus. How about the Quran? Do you guys even know who wrote your Quran down? Do you guys even have any preserved manuscripts?
I honestly don't know who physically wrote down the Quran. I'm assuming it's his followers, Muhammad's followers, but I have to get back to you on that, man.
Okay.
Most Muslims have no idea who wrote the Bible or the Quran. They'll look at names like Paul, Peter, James, John, and they'll be like, this is anonymous. These are American names. They won't even know who wrote different chapters of the Quran. So it's good to bring this up in debate. Ask, for example, who wrote chapter 17 of the Quran? Or chapter 19, Surat Maryam, which is the chapter of Mary. Who physically wrote that down when Muhammad preached it or recited it? Most people will just simply say his companions. But with us, we know who wrote down different letters in the Gospels. Mark was written by John Mark. Luke was written by Luke the Greek. Paul was Paul or Saul of Tarsus, so on and so forth. We know who these individuals are. Therefore, a Muslim doesn't notice. It's good to bring up that we have authors in our scriptures, and they have no idea who wrote the chapters of their Quran.
So why are you Muslim?
Well, we know Muhammad existed. We know, he spread Islam. And honestly, I think he had a better grasp on who Jesus was than a lot of Christians do. Jesus didn't even claim to be God. I don't think the early Christians even believed Jesus was God. Where do you guys get this from?
There's actually multiple sources of evidence, man. We got the Gospels themselves. We got the epistles of St. Paul. We got all the writings of his apostles. Man, we even got secular historians such as Josephus and Tacitus. And they all claim the same thing. They all claim that either Jesus himself or his apostles claimed that Jesus claimed that he was truly and is the Son of God. Most Muslims are taught that Jesus never claimed to be God. They're even taught that the first Christians for the first 200 or 300 years never believed that Jesus was divine. Most Muslims believe that the Council of Nicaea made Jesus, who was a man, into a deity, either God or the Son of God. Of course, this is not true. We can look into history and see that the Greeks, the Romans, the Jews, and even the followers of Christ, the first century followers like Peter, James, John, Paul, all of them believed that Christ was divine, that he was God in the flesh, and they wrote about this. And Christ himself said that he was divine, that he was God in the flesh, and that was why they crucified him. Muslims don't know this. Muslims don't really know why he was crucified or when did Christ say he was God. So most Muslims are taught by their evangelists and their imams that Christ never claimed to be God. So it's good to bring up that all historians, at least for the first few centuries of Christianity, both believers and non-believers, said that Christ and or his followers believed he was divine. In conclusion, we have to remember that we're dealing with individuals that have experiences and come from different cultures that may or may not even know what a Bible looks like. So we have to be their friends, their loved ones, their acquaintances. Maybe we can go out, play pool with them, or invite them over for dinner. Not for pork.
That's true. No pork or alcohol, but you can invite them over and have apple juice and beef or stew or vegetarian food, or maybe make a halal meal. Do something that shows that you care about them and that you love them. That will move way more mountains than anything that you can say or do dogmatically, scientifically, philosophically. Remember that we were also lost and Christ found us. And Christ loves the Muslims as much as he loves us. Glory to Jesus Christ.